Hey, Ted here. Today we are taking a look at technical analysis for DXY, or the US dollar currency index. I'll cover wave analysis with Elliott theory and provide multiple scenarios the price may take and explain why I prefer one count over another. Let's take a look at the different possibilities. Starting with the main count that we've been having for quite some time. In this one we had this as a 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 in the third of minor, fourth of minor, fifth of minor, completing the third of intermediate here, fourth of intermediate, and looking for the fifth of intermediate to complete the third of this primary, or the red count here. Without going too much detail into this, it is possible that we are done it here. We have created a 5-way move here. Again, it is not that good looking structure here, so I wanted to create another count in which we are actually we have already completed this primary third up in these highs of that $114. Why? It's just because, again, if we are looking at this structure here and in comparison to all the previous structures here, this potential wave 2 of the first primary that we had here is the most lookalike, right? So again, we don't really want us to see it breaking these lows here. But again, the main thing is not breaking out these lows on RSI. At that point, we would be turning into something completely different. Also, another pivot point is this $104.70 something cents. If we are taking out this low, then we might be already finished here. But again, I don't have that count prepared, saying that we have topped in here, because I don't think that is the case. So what I had done here is actually I just downgraded everything, because I do think that the primary being a 1 2 3 4 and 5 completed in 2 years is kind of fast. So maybe this is just a intermediate structure. Does not really matter, it's just the degrees. So overall idea is that we have a 1 2 here, another 1 2 3 4 and 5. If we are just looking at RSI, this low here is the most significant here on daily. This would signal us that whatever we had previously, all the way up to these previous lows where we had this wave 2 of this counter intermediate, is the same cycle. So if we are looking this as an impulsive wave structure upwards, this whole thing would be a wave 1 and wave 2. Surely this wave 2 here is kind of small, and this wave 1 is, in comparison to the previous higher time frame degree, it is around 1.618, which is qualifying it as a wave 3 already. But I don't think that I can make this into a wave 3 of the same degree, because again, the rest of the structure here is so bullish. So that is the reasons why I have this as a 1 2. Then we would have this as a third, fourth, and fifth, creating us that previous previous fourth wave of this third wave intermediate, which is generally used as one of the targets for the next higher degree wave 4, on this case the intermediate wave 4. Now let's go to 1 hour time frame and check out the more local structure. Again, this is the previous wave 4 of that third intermediate, and then we would be looking for downwards to create that fourth of intermediate here. Now again, this box that we have here is the previous wave 4, and general targets what we have here is the retracements of that wave 3. So again, pivoted from the start of the wave 3 to the end of the wave 3 with the Fibonacci retracement tool, and have these as few of the targets. Generally, if we are going to go below the previous wave 4, it just means that it is less likely to be a wave 4. Also, again, if we go below the 0.5, is going to be making it less likely. In this scenario, I don't think that we should go below this wave structure or wave 4 here. But if that happens, then we need to be again reevaluating this whole thing, if this is going to be possibly the fifth wave already. But until that point, I'm not going to be bothering with that. So the local structures, we had a pretty good looking 3-way structure here. Very possible that everything was done already here. We had a wave W here, another wave Y, or an ABC, whichever you want to be playing with. We took out the lows here with this last leg of the previous lows, which again qualifies us for that three-way structure, corrective structure downwards, so we could have ended everything here. However, this structure here definitely looks more like a three-way structure than anything else, and indeed we did take out the lows here and continued our way downwards. The X wave again got to the golden pocket basically off this wave W here to the continuation to the downwards. Now, as this is a WX, we are expecting a three-way move for the wave Y, and we have the targets from anywhere from $107.90 to $104.67. Again, this fits very well to the previous wave 4 lows that we had here for the 1.618. Again, in general, we don't really want to go beyond the 1.618 extension of this move, as it generally, again, is going to give us more of those impulsive structure vibes, right? Now, as this is again wave Y, we are expecting a three-way structure. What are we getting here? A three-way structure. Not to anybody's surprise. We are again already in that target box here for that lower time frame structure as well. However, we have one issue. If we are looking at the RSI here on any of these time frames, basically, we have not taken out the previous wave W waves lows. So that is definitely an issue. And that is something that we want to be doing before moving on with this being complete. Even for we have not taken out those. This, however, seems already so impulsive. I don't really understand why RSI is not already giving us the signal that, okay, this is done and we have taken out these lows. But that is just something that it doesn't have created. So if we are just comparing this basically like here to this structure here, we can see that this is significantly smaller than this whole thing that we had now. And even here, even this being started higher, okay, yeah, sure, it started a bit higher, but this is still so much less in volume and still took out the previous structure lows that it just baffles me a bit, seeing that they have not done that. That is one signal that could be telling us that this might be actually just the start of that wave Y. So instead of this being a minute ABC, this would be minuet. And then we would be creating a three-way structure and another three-way structure, and then we would be taking out the lows of that wave W on RSI later on. So that is the explanation here. If, however, we are starting to impulse downwards, then we need to be again taking another look. 1.618, right around the 1.618 of this higher time frame move again, and the previous wave 4 lows. So again, going below here is going to give us some issues in any case. I have already set up a long position on the US dollar and trying to get this as some kind of retracement here. I do think that is more probable, but again, I do have my stop losses down here already set. So not the best risk to reward here, but I do think that we might be getting here some kind of pump up higher. At the moment, we still do have this on smaller time frame that we are creating these divergences on 15-minute time frame. So I do expect us pumping here either today or basically Monday. So that's the setup I'm willing to trade here. Either you're just trading the Euro USD or some other pair that correlates this well. Well, that is basically the new count that I'm tracking here on the higher time frame, and of course this lower time frame structure. The other one that I have shown you before has been this one, in which the wave 4 of primary has already been completed, and this structure here would be the 5th. Now the issue that I have here is that this wave 4 is starting to get really low here. Of course, the invalidation is only at the wave 2 lows, because again, what we are looking for here is a expanding structure. Wave 3 here was larger than wave 1, so we are expecting wave 4 to be larger than wave 2. So that has already been the case. And now we would be, once this pivots, if it pivots before the lows we had here, we would be looking for this kind of move. 1-to-1, of course, depends on where we are pivoting. $117 would be the minimum we want to be looking at again for this 5th wave here. And this would be the end of this whole structure. and then we would be needing to look at the higher time frame structure, what it could be part of, whether it is this or whether it's just a continuation of the higher time frame in previous moves. We'll look into that later on once this is giving us some kind of signal that it is actually finishing up. I think that is pretty much everything I wanted to cover for DXY today. If you made it this far into the video, I would appreciate the likes. Link to my free Discord server in the description below, and for now I thank you for watching and hope you have an amazing rest of your day. See you in the next video. Bye bye.